I've been this person and I'm still in the process of becoming someone who does the things they talk about, so today's video is me doing the things I said I would do. I realized that you need to keep the promises you make to yourself, otherwise the person who you want to become is never going to overlap with the person you currently are. One of my New Year's resolutions was to read a book every 2 weeks. So far, it's not been too bad actually. I've read 3 books and a short story. I'm definitely an offender of buying books under the guise of I'll read this week, then getting sucked into the vortex of social media. I promised myself that if I bought the books, I had to finish 3 Body Problem today. Okay, so I finally finished 3 Body Problem. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads, but I don't know, for me, I feel like it was probably a 3.8. It was easy to read, but then that means it wasn't as pretty as the books that I usually prefer. But I thought it was really interesting how it was translated from Mandarin, and I underlined this quote from helloo. In his postscript, he wrote that the English words are arranged in such a way that the reader sees a glimpse of another culture's patterns of thinking, hears an echo of another language's rhythms and cadences, and feels a tremor of another people's gestures and movements. That's so beautiful to me. So yeah, it's amazing that helloo has that level of mastery over both languages where he's able to translate someone's work in another language into English so flawlessly. Although I haven't actually read the Chinese version, so I wouldn't know whether meanings are lost or not. But that reminds me of when I watched Sentimental Value, I had the thought that I feel like I wasn't experiencing the full spectrum of emotions that was intended from the movie, purely because it was Norwegian, I think. But nevertheless, this was a really fun read. I haven't read an action-packed story in a while. I really loved Shi Qiang. He was so funny. Yeah, I underlined a couple quotes by him as well. Okay, I won't go back and read those. I'll just put a photo up there for you guys. I've mentioned in a previous video that I finally enrolled myself into an art class after chewing my friends' ears off about wanting to change degrees. Getting back into art seems a gigantic process before you actually do it. I was pretty scared to go to the class, but afterwards I went home and I seemed to develop an addiction to painting. I want to paint something tonight, so my art teacher, was like, you should use a Stay Wet palette, or like a makeshift one. I honestly don't really know what that is in terms of like the professional tool, but Basically, you just put like a wet paper towel or like a wet cloth underneath and then put baking paper over it, so then your acrylic paints stay wet whilst you paint, otherwise they dry up and you can't find the same values or whatever. So I'm gonna wet this palette and then put my colours on. It's so different from digital art. Everything is much more intentional. Rather than opening up a program, you need to go out and buy supplies, choose your canvas, choose your paints, and you're faced with a confronting slab of emptiness. It has so many possibilities and so many unpredictable outcomes. So I kind of realized that I don't have an easel. I may or may not just have to lean it against my cabinet, put some newspaper on the floor, and also sit on the floor. This is the reference that I want to paint today. It's Zhang Ziyi from one of Wong Kar-wai's films. I think it's one of those futuristic ones. And I love her. I think she might be my favorite Chinese actress. It feels much more real to hold a brush in your hand, to feel the pressure of the bristles on the canvas, to come out of that flow state and see the patches of dried crimson and ultramarine plastered on your fingers. I'm still in the process of being able to paint without being restricted to direct references. I made a promise to myself to create something big, so I guess I'll have to brainstorm a bit. Keeping these promises to myself felt good. I felt like I was living, even though I wasn't doing anything radical or revolutionary. Life, after all, is made up of fragments of the mundane. Whilst I probably won't remember this exact moment reading on my bed or painting on a random Saturday night, they build up to shape who I am anyways. So I hope that you too can start doing the things that you always said you would do. Before life passes you by and you say, if I had just done that one thing, I could have been happier.